In this tutorial, you will learn how to create profitable trading robots with artificial intelligence without needing to have a supposedly winning strategy in advance, because we will find it using artificial intelligence. You also do not need prior programming knowledge to create trading robots with this artificial intelligence that you will learn about in this video, along with a practical step-by-step guide so that you can start doing it as soon as you finish watching this video. So subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on high-value videos like this one you're watching now. And now we start with the video once you have subscribed. Many people believe that artificial intelligence has just emerged recently, a year or two ago with this chat that I mentioned, with Llama, with Meta, with Amazon, and with Facebook, or with everything. Well, I'm sorry to tell you that artificial intelligence has existed for more than a decade. Proof of this is my notes that I had 15 years ago. In my computer engineering career, you can see that I scored a 9 in artificial intelligence, an outstanding grade, and that concept already existed. I am talking about the year 2009-2010, as you may have seen. Therefore, artificial intelligence is not something that has just emerged, it is something that has been used in many companies for a long time. The thing is that there is now so much hype because artificial intelligences based on neural networks have emerged. It's not the artificial intelligence that I will use in this video, but rather a slightly simpler artificial intelligence that any trader can use and that you can all have at your fingertips. We are going to use this tool called Strategy One. I will leave the link below for you to download it with a free license. But first, finish watching what I want to teach you in this video, because it is very interesting. We want to create strategies like the one you are seeing on screen, strategies that are profitable, that are robust, and that can allow us to make money in the future, not just in the past. Well, for this, in this tool, we definitely go directly to the builder because it is the most important part. This is indeed where the profitable strategies are created that this tool will search for us. Well, for that, I am not going to explain anything about this screen. I will go directly to the settings so you can see how capable this tool is at finding strategies that are indeed profitable. First of all, there is a panel, and there are things to keep in mind here. It is whether we are going to create a simple strategy, that is a time frame, a strategy, or if we want to do multi-time frame. What I am going to teach you is a strategy derived from multi-time frame analysis, which I will explain later. So we can select either of the two. It's important here if we want to create strategies that open both long and short positions, or just long positions or just short positions, right? And this will depend a bit. Personally, I like to create strategies for one direction, and then I will create other strategies for the same asset or for the other direction. All right? I will only place long positions in this case, right? In the euro dollar. For the euro dollar, we will now see which asset we are going to use. Then here we can set what entry conditions we want. For example, the condition we are stating is a moving average. When the price crosses the moving average upwards, this is one condition. When the RSI is below 30, this is a second condition. How many conditions? I suggest no more than 3 conditions, because otherwise you could fall into over-optimization. That is, even if you come up with a strategy that seems effective, you may not make any money. Therefore, from 1 to 3 in this regard. Then set the stop loss and take profit. For me, a stop loss is essential. I would set it, selecting the stop loss. And here, based on ATR for my taste, then each person wants to set only pips or something else. But to make it very, very simple for your first robots, you could select fixed pips. Because this way you can set a range. I'm not saying, look, I want it to only go from 20 pips to 100 pips without a stop loss. And then the strategy is for this tool to be able to choose between 20 and 100 and to be able to build strategies. Now I will explain how to build strategies based on these ranges that we define. You can even select 2 things. Personally, I like the ATR. An ATR multiplier of 0.1, basically from 1 to 3 and from 5 to 100, for example, to capture volatility and leave the necessary space for the moment. We can set the profit target to have the same rules and ranges as the stop loss, and it should not exceed a 3-to-1 ratio in this case, for example. Well, I'm going to do it a bit quickly, right? The interesting part here is selecting the data, and I want to create strategies, for example, for the euro dollar. Well, here I select the euro dollar, for which I have previously downloaded the data, and I put it here. I have data available from 2003 to 2024. Here, I am going to select, for example, I am going to do back testing, and I am going to test strategies from 2006 until the end of 2019. Why not take advantage until 2024? Because I leave these last 4 years for later, the strategies that have come from this search, I can test them over the last 4 years to see what they would have done. It's like simulating that starting from 2020 would be my real scenario. In this way, I am able to simulate a real environment and say, okay, this strategy would have worked in the future. I will keep it because it may continue to work. Then we conduct more tests to decide if this follow-up, how strongly it continues to make money with this strategy later on or not. Well, I am setting it to December 31st, 2019, a time frame of 1 hour. We can choose the time frame we want. For the euro, dollar, 1 hour, 4 hours, day 1, you can even set the time frame that suits you. Here in the engine, we choose which platforms we want to create robots on. MetaTrader 5, MetaTrader 4, TradeStation, MultiCharts, or J4X. Personally, I use MetaTrader 5 a lot in hedge because NTT is for futures. We leave it here in factor, where we set the commissions, say $6, the swap for the euro dollar, which is already pre-configured in the data. When we encounter the triple swap, which happens every Wednesday with the broker where I will operate, we also consider the spread, slippage, and minimum distance. We will manipulate all this in the robustness tests we will do later. Everything I will explain today is very basic. We will work much more in depth, and I encourage you to subscribe to our free course, which you can find in the description of this video or in the first comment, because you will see this in much more detail. Trading options. Here you can limit the time for trading. Personally, as we know that CFD brokers have a specific hour when they close the market and there is a lot of spread, I do not want to open trades during that hour, so I set it from 1:30 in the morning until around 11:30 at night. This is because this is UTC +2, which in this case would not be Spanish time. And no, you can or you don't want to exit trades in that range. I tend to be more of a swing trader, so I'm not going to exit trades every day. The most important thing is, how does this artificial intelligence build the strategies? Well, this is very important because here you can see that there are many behaviors. These behaviors include the ADX falling, the ADX rising, the ADX crossing the level upwards, and the ADX crossing the level downwards. The Aeron indicator and the ATR indicator behave similarly. You say, but okay, what does it mean that it changes direction downwards? Well, here you can select various parameters, how many periods you want for the ADX, as there are several sets of 14, 20, 30, and 40. You can add new sets. What does all this mean? All this refers to the combinations or possibilities that you give to the tool so that it creates strategies for you. Look, ADX, Aeron, ATR, Awesome Accelerator, Beers Power. Here you select what you want to take into account or not. Candle patterns, TCI, various made by me, marker, directional index, an outrageous amount. And not only behavior regarding a single indicator, but also comparison of indicators against numbers. For example, the Fibonacci, the 23% Fibonacci, and down here are the operators such as whether less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, crosses up, crosses down, like various behaviors. And you compare this against the day's high, the day's low, and also the candle's high, the candle's low. There are many combinations to make. Well, what am I telling you about all this? That you, as a trader, must select the ones you want for the euro dollar, whether for buying or selling, depending on the asset for which you are creating strategies, so that strategy 1, when we hit play, starts looking for strategies, will say, okay, Ramon has told me that I can look for between 1 and 3 entry rules, therefore I will take this one here, the HMA factor. I'm going to take this one here and then go to indicators and set the upper Bollinger Band to be above the, the bit should be above the upper Bollinger Band. There are 3 conditions. I could have also taken 2 or just 1 because I mentioned a range of 1 to 3. Perfect. The entry is already made. Does this generate trades? We don't know. Now let's move on to the exit part. Well, here we can select. We enter the market, we enter a stop or limit, different types of entry, and the type of exit can be after X candles. For example, I remove this to keep it very simple. Profit target and stop loss. Now you will see some examples that I will show you later which only occur after X candles that do not have stop loss or take profit, so you can see that it is very simple. This setup is very simple, it is how they are functioning. TP, stop loss. This is what I add in the end, loss. But if I end up adding it, I won't go with strategies without take profit or stop loss at a minimum. Well, I select the ways I want to exit. I can set a trailing stop, I can set an exit rule also based on indicators, and I can set a break even. Various types of exits. When we have selected the various types of exit, what Strategy Coin does to create a strategy is take 1 to 3 entry rules, which we have on the left. It has only activated that it can enter the market, and for exit, it takes a stop loss, because I have it required. The stop loss is mandatory, while the profit target may not be. It has to exit in some way, either with a profit target or after X Belus. You must have one of the two activated, or we could also activate a trailing stop. Although it is not mandatory, it is recommended to use one of the two. Well, once we have this, Strategy 1 already has all the condition bags that we have enabled for it to pick a little ball from here, a little ball from there, and a little ball from here to build a strategy. Can this strategy work or not? We will see this because we have enabled a series of years of historical data from 2006 to 2019 for you to test what that strategy would have done during that time. And based on the results, will we keep it? Will we keep it to continue working with it? Or will we discard it? Well, what filters do we put in place to decide whether to keep it or not? Well, here I skip several tabs because you will discover this in more detail in the course that you have in the description of this video. Let's go to ranking. For example, here I ask that the number of trades be 400. As I have opened at least 400 trades with that strategy over 15 years, that the duration of the trades lasts for 2 candles. If I work on an hourly basis at an hourly time frame, then it should hold for about 2 candles. It shouldn't be just opening and closing, because for that I would go to scalping. The winning percentage should be at least 40%. I don't like to go for very high ratios, especially in forage. I want to aim for at least 40%. And that the return divided by the downs, that is the money earned over those 5 years divided by the maximum monetary loss, is at least a factor of 4, at least for it to be profitable and sustain me over time. That's the only thing I ask. All the strategies that indeed pass these filters are strategies that you will see next, and we will continue working with them. Well, here we have a generation. I have been using Statistic 1 to search for strategies for me for 19 hours. I went for a walk, I went to have a drink, I went to eat, to sleep, and so on. In less than 24 hours it has generated 4.8 million strategies over this time, but of which I am actually keeping only 325, in fact 275, to continue working with them. Imagine the small percentage that I keep from them. Why? Because I will tell you. 58% of those strategies out of 4.8 million are strategies that have not generated any trades for me. In other words, they are strategies that have not made sense. It is possible that this tool creates strategies that make absolutely no sense. This is normal because this is brute force artificial intelligence, as it is called. Therefore, they may not generate any strategy for us, so they are eliminated. More than half go into that bag. Then, the first filter, the Odom split return, I have requested to be greater than 2, since 34% is less than 2. Therefore, we will not keep it either. And so on. So you can see the breakdown of why they are rejected, and the remaining ones are 275, which I have down here. And I have countless little numbers and KPIs that I can analyze. I can measure what is risked in each operation. I can measure what is earned annually. Obviously, we then adjust the risks. Even if they earn very little now, don't focus too much on what they earn, because this is proportional to the risk you are assuming. I set a ratio that doesn't matter to me. What interests me is the ratio of what is gained to what is risked. Profit factor, I can sort them by profit factor here at 1.75, which is very good for this profit factor, 400 trades over all those years. I am going to open, for example, this profit factor to see what appears here so that we have an idea of the strategy from the year 2006, this is in euro-dollar, until the year 2019. Now it should be added that the first test we conduct after obtaining this strategy is one that will make us money starting from the year 2020, surely. I estimate that out of these 275, about half or a little less will make money in the next 4 years. The other half we will sweep away. However, I am waiting to reach $1,000 strategies to continue working with them. I repeat, this is just the first step. Here you will see the next steps if you sign up for the free course that you have down here. Then here we can see the list of operations for this strategy. We can analyze everything. Here we can see a trade analysis. I can see that the vast majority are making money. Operations that open at 8 in the morning, and let's see when they close. They close almost all at 5 in the afternoon. I see that every year more or less makes money. The year 2018 was more or less break even. In 2007 it lost money. These are strategies that only open short positions. In this case, here are the days that I make money. This is a KPI made by us. You can only have it if you are with us, and it represents the money that the vast majority of trades lose. In this case, minus R11, there are 170 trades that lose this money. And here, we can find the risk that each of the trades assumes to know exactly what our risk per operation is. And a bit of analysis as well, especially the strategy that is behind this, because you will see this strategy is very simple. In fact, I'm going to make it even simpler. I'm going to take this one here and go to the editor to see it a little better. And so we can essentially observe it better. Observe closely. What it does is that essentially the moving average of the 93 period moving average on a 4-hour chart, has to be above the maximum of 8 in the morning, essentially. At 5 in the afternoon, this is a rule. And the second rule is that the maximum of the 25 periods must be rising. That the maximum of 25 periods is rising. These are rules that we did not decide ourselves. We found them through artificial intelligence, and these rules tell us that for the Eurodollar, from the year 2006 to the year 2019, it has this profitability. I repeat, I am not saying that I will use this strategy in real trading. I don't know what will happen. I need to test from the year 2020 to the year 2024. There are many steps involved, which I repeat, and you can discover in this course. And, just so you can see the potential of this tool, this is one, but I have 275 lists below to start working with. I would expect to have 1,000, and from that 1,000 we will apply our methodology for creating systems to end up with only those strategies that ultimately leave me with just 1 or 2, at most, from all of these to use in real accounts. With this video, I want you to see that it is not necessary to search for strategies on Google or pay $5,000 to a trader who supposedly is profitable but isn't, to buy a strategy when here I am capable of creating many more strategies for any asset you want, and that you can do it too, as you have learned at least. The first brushstroke, which I encourage you to watch, shows new brushstrokes in the course you have, and I also gift you several robots so you can start using them and see these robots emerging from this artificial intelligence, how they are behaving, that you try it in a demo and that you feel it yourself with your own fingers. Because this is possible, I want to teach you, and all the 3Ds who want to learn about the world of algorithmic trading without having to program. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like it, subscribe to our channel because we share a lot of valuable information like this that you have experienced. And I'll see you in the live sessions every Tuesday at 7 p.m. that I do here on YouTube to teach more and more content about it. So a big hug, trader. Bye.